Welcome back, everybody, and it goes whoosh, abracadabra. So, I'd like to welcome you back. Here we are yet again, another new guitar day. Although this is a repeat of a new guitar day because the last one got sent back. I do believe that today is June the 10th, 2023. I do believe that that's what the day is. So, we're going to open this up. This is a replacement, although not provided by Amazon. That's a whole other story unto itself. But since I got a dud that had problems and Amazon didn't want to work with me from the IYV IJZ 300, then they took them off the sale price. But then a week later they put them back on the sale price. So I decided to get another one, because I think they're an incredible value if you get a decent one. These are sort of iffy on that because my experience, whoa, look at that headstock brace, crushed in 3 places. Man, these things must get hammered. It's always a shock that the neck isn't just snapped off because, yeah, that thing always just gets beat to hell. The box looked like it was in good shape, but I imagine that people just treat these like any other commodity and just fling them around. So we'll put this part of the box over here. We'll take that thing up as necessary, relieve it from its bag. And it does look like, for all intent purposes, that it's a brand new guitar. I don't see any glaring fingerprints and stuff like that on there. That's nice, a nice figurine there. Oh, and it does have the sunburst side on it, which the other one didn't, but yeah, those are like sort of 3-dimensional, I don't know what you call them. The frets feel good as usual. Switch is a bit of smudge on the back of the neck here, which I bet a little bit of light sandpaper would take care of in about 2 seconds. Sort of like some glue of some kind leaked out. So we'll give that a buzz. Maybe that's a returnable penalty, maybe not. And it's interesting because this has the 3-ply binding on the back as well. The binding on the headstock looks pretty darn good, although there's a rub out right there. We didn't check these the first time around, so they all seem to be working. The nut looks pretty good. The fretboard on this is redder. It says this is 2022, 13. Yeah, I usually go over this really quick just to see. I mean, there's some issues right there that aren't really quite up to snuff. The seam feels good. Yeah, so I'm just going to take something to that real quick. We'll be right back. Welcome back again, everybody. It is a little later in the afternoon. It is June the 10th, 2023, as mentioned before. And this is number 3 of my IYV IJZ 300 TBS, which is the Tobacco Sunburst. And I just played it for 3 hours. And again, one thing I will say about every IYV guitar that I've gotten thus far is they come out of the box playable. Intonated, action's good, strings are, typical new guitar, inexpensive guitar strings, but they certainly work. The tuning's quite stable on this. The machine heads of the tuners are, subpar. They've got a lot of lash and a lot of play in them, but once you dial them in, they seem to hold a tune really nice. Again, in this price point, one does expect some blemishes, and this guitar does have a few notable blemishes, but all cosmetic that I can tell. The bridge on this one looks still slightly off-center. I guess they just really need to work on getting not the bridge, but the tailpiece. Looks like it could go just a smidge this way. Doesn't seem to affect playability in any way at all. This guitar, by all accounts, from everything I can tell, does seem like it was a brand new guitar, although one curious thing, there is no protective film on the neck pickup, which again someone just might not have put it on. You won't be able to see the blems in the video, but there's a finished blem right here. The back of the guitar has some interesting, I guess you could call those blems. It's, wood is wood, so one would expect that. The sunburst on this is really nice. It has more red than my other one. My other one looks like it's more black on the edges. The wood grain on the front is straight line. The other thing that's interesting, I'm guessing that the triple binding, as they're calling it, is actually a decal. And the reason why I say that, you again probably can't see it on the camera very well, but up here on the headstock, it just disappears. And if that was real triple binding, it wouldn't just disappear like that. So one can only assume that this is a decal. But again, for the price point. Another interesting thing is of the three that I've had, two of them just had regular binding on the back. And this one has the triple binding on the back, which is sort of odd. And of the three that I've had, two were just solid color. This one, the sunburst reflects on the side of the guitar. Again, tastefully done. The fretwork, again, really nice. I don't notice any high frets. No dead spots. Doesn't seem to choke out anywhere. Of course, I don't play a lot in this area. There could be some issues there, but it doesn't really matter to me. But overall, quite satisfied with this guitar. Let's bring the guitar back in. He wants to look at the bed. So feel pretty good about it. I've got a fourth one coming because I sent the second one back. And again, a little bit of editorializing here for Amazon. Amazon's an interesting company, to say the least. The ad for this guitar clearly states that this guitar is eligible for return, refund, or replacement. So the second one, its problem was it had a stripped out screw on the tuning button, and you couldn't tighten it up, and so the tuning button was just falling off. And I was willing to work through that and make the repair myself if they were willing to give me a bit of a partial refund, but they just absolutely slammed the door in my face and said that that just wasn't possible, wasn't available. I kept going back and forth with them, probably 10 phone calls, 10 emails, just asking the simple question, if it says in your ad that it is eligible for this, why are you telling me that it's not? And not a single person would answer me, and they finally just said, we're done talking to you, and they cut communication, which just to me was really, really poor customer service. So Amazon gets a big thumbs down for that. But otherwise, I give this guitar 2 thumbs up. And again, keep in mind it was on sale for $129. It was actually down to $127 for a single day. Then it went up to $230. Then they dropped it back down to $130. Then they put it back up to $170. Today it's at $150. So I'm guessing, just a guess, no information to support it, but I'm guessing that this guitar is no longer in production, and Amazon has a bunch of them, and they're just sort of waving their prices around trying to tempt people to buy them. And again, I don't recommend guitars because you never know what you're going to like, but if this is the kind of guitar you would like, when it goes down to that $130 range, if you can live with some cosmetic blems, which again, I have a simple rule, if I can't see it when I'm playing, it doesn't bother me. So this blem right here, I can't see it. I wouldn't consider this a blem right here. I'm guessing that the side of a guitar is a single piece of wood and they have to join it at some point, and that's where they join it. My strap covers that. anything on the back of the guitar. When I'm playing it, I can't see it. It doesn't matter. And the binding issue up here, that it disappears with the tilt, and I put my tuner right there, I can't see that, so that's not an issue either. Usually they seem to have a problem with this decal down here, but I guess the guy was just asleep at the switch, and or they painted over it or whatever. The IYV looks good. The inlays look good. There's a little tiny bit of filler on the top ones, but it's flush with the fretboard, and it's not massive like I've seen on other ones. The fingerboard on this looks redder. I guess that's Jatoba wood. Some of them are darker than others. I don't mind the red. Red seems fine. So, yeah. So I'm going to give it, again, 2 thumbs up. IYV IJZ 300 TBS, Tobacco Sunburst. Get them while you can. Get them while they're on sale. And that's it. So we'll be back in a few days with number 4. Depending on the condition of number 4, one of these may go back. I may just turn around and sell it. I certainly don't need 3 of these guitars. But at the price point, there's nothing that even comes close. So again, if you're considering something like this, this also, another one of the oddities is, I guess the first group had a full-length block. This one has what we're calling the short block. It goes from about here to about here. So it basically is just in there holding onto the bridge. And so this guitar weighs, I don't know, let's weigh it. Hold on just a second. So according to my bathroom scale, it's digital, so I consider it to be fairly accurate. It says it comes in at 6.2 pounds. Again, very comfortable weight. All in all, they're really nice guitars, and like I said, it's just, you need to suspend expectations. If this was, I believe this, I wouldn't say it's a copy, but it's a simulation of a Gibson ES 125, I believe. And obviously, if you were paying Gibson prices, you would not tolerate the finish flaws, but for 130 bucks, woohoo! Just play the darn thing and enjoy it, and don't get stuck on the details. All right, we'll see you back middle of next week when we get our number 4, and then we've got 4 of them to compare, and you can just check them out and see what you think. So thank you for joining us once again. Have a good evening. Welcome back, everybody. It is now June the 13th, Tuesday, June the 13th, about 4:30 in the afternoon. I've had this guitar now for 3 days, and I've played it a whole bunch, and I give it, again, 2 thumbs up. Has a couple minor cosmetic issues, not a big deal. I still think that the bridge is a little off-center, but it doesn't seem to make any difference. I guess they just can't figure it out. Other than that, great deal. And I just wanted to come back and say that for the first day, it was having incredibly weird tuning issues. It kept going sharp and sharp and sharp. So I did the old trick of pulling out the pencil and put some graphite into the nut slots for the lower 3 strings, which are the ones that were giving me problems. And it seems to have worked its way out. And the tuning is now very, very, very stable. So that's good. So again, I like this guitar. If you can believe it or not, something I would mention on all guitars, but this one's probably even more problematic, keep an eye on the upper strap button. I don't think they put a little block here. They probably should have. One person said his is already ripped out. Mine got loose, so I tightened it up, and I will just keep an eye on it. And other than that, all is well. So we have another guitar coming tomorrow, so I wanted to just come back, throw some more comments. When this is on sale in the $128 to $130, it is an incredible bargain. These guitars are a bit hit and miss, much more hit than miss, but I've seen a few reviews where some of these guitars slide through their supposed quality control and are abysmal, but for the most part, I've owned 3 so far, and they were all playable. They all do have, you know, minor cosmetic issues, but again, for the price point, even at its full price of $230, I think it's worth it. But when it goes down to $130, right now it's at $140, I think it's an incredible bargain. And I do think this is a discontinued model, which is why Amazon is blowing them out the doors. to make room for new stuff. So if this is the kind of guitar you think you might want to check it out. Anyways, we'll be back tomorrow. Thank you very much.